Shalom. All praise is due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rach, Wadash, the bonus of the elect, apostle, bishops, elders, that great millstone, that we well. Shalom to elect Ak out there doing this work in sincerity and truth and not for vainglory, in season, out of season. Shalom to the elect men, women, sons, and daughters of Israel, which are you so-called Negroes, West Indian Haitians, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, scattered through the four corners of the earth in the North, South, and Central America as well. Shalom to you. Just want to bring this out. Let's go straight to it. This is Jeremiah 5th chapter, and it's 20. I'll start at the 26th verse. Okay. It says, "For among my people, which are you so-called Negroes, West Indian Haitians, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans, are found wicked men." And that's the truth. You know, you have Sambos, okay, amongst so-called Negroes, West Indian Haitians, Latinos, and Native Americans, Hispanics, okay, you know, that love the so-called white man, that'll die for the so-called white man, that'll turn you in for the so-called white man. You know, everybody knows a family member of theirs amongst our people that's wicked as all hell. You know, whether they're selling drugs, you know, whether they're scamming, you know, scamming their own people, whether they're in gangs, you know, it's just, you know, whether they're murdering their own people, you know, well, they in other philosophies, okay, you know, family members that might be like a Muslim, or you may have an uncle that's a Muslim, or you may have an aunt, you know, she's into, you know, she's a Baptist or Pentecostal, or, you know, a Christian, you know, whatever. That's still all wicked, you know. Don't get it twisted. That's still wicked. They could be the nicest person on the planet Earth, but and they're not serving the true power. If they're not praising the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, that's wickedness, man. That's wickedness. You know, not just the overt wickedness, but that's wickedness, man. Okay? You know, it says, "For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men." Okay. It says, "As a cage full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore they are become great and waxen rich." It says, "They are waxen fat. They shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked." Yeah, man, Jacob's so wicked, man. Well, not all, because you have the elect out there, okay, of you so-called Negroes, West Indian Haitians, Latinos, and Native Americans, Hispanics, and Seminole Indians. But the majority, the 2/3 of our people, man, they're wicked as all hell, man. You know, they out there scamming, they out there being false prophets, you know, I mean, they just doing anything and everything wicked. They into, you know, the LGBTQ lifestyle, you know, and they become so wicked that they overpass, what did it say? It says, they overpass the deeds of the wicked, which is who? Esau. Which is Esau, which is a so-called white man. They didn't surpass Esau in goddamn wickedness, man. You know? You got dudes that's into all kind of madness, yo. Okay? All kind of madness. You know? So, yo, two-thirds you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you didn't overpass the deeds of the wicked. You know? You know? Here it is, you have the Arabs that they have they're being Muslims, but then you got so-called black men and black women. Well, it says men. You you more of a Muslim than a goddamn Arab. You know, you know. So I hope you can edify them with that. Shalom. Hey, listen. Leave two-thirds of these so-called Negroes, what's in it, Haitians, Latinos, Native Americans, Hispanics, Seminole Indians. Leave them alone. All right. They overpass the deeds of the wicked. All right. Leave them alone. All right. They'll they'll come. They'll murder you, man. They'll sell drugs to a pregnant woman. I mean, leave these two-third Negroes, what's in it, Haitians, Latinos alone. Leave them alone. Hope you edify them with that. Shalom.